According to reports, they're saying that the lawsuit was amended and they've named comedian Druski and Odell Beckham Jr.
What?
A former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs speaking out in a new interview with new allegations about wild parties and drug use.
It's the kind of headline that stops you in your tracks. Odell Beckham Jr. and Druski, two beloved figures in sports and entertainment, find themselves at the center of a bombshell scandal. The FBI has reportedly swooped in, arresting both men after a new lawsuit surfaced with shocking claims. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't just another tabloid rumor. This is real, unfolding drama that has left fans, critics, and media insiders utterly stunned. How did we get here? What exactly went down? And what does this mean for their futures? Let's break it all down.
In this document, she says that Diddy was allegedly forcibly her to the point where he even used like a remote to do it at one point in time. And she says that when it comes to Druski, that Diddy allegedly instructed another defendant who's Doe to also her. And that defendant has been determined to be Druski.
So here's the tea. This all spirals out of a lawsuit that originally targeted Sean Diddy Combs, a man whose name has been dragged through the mud in recent months with wave after wave of allegations. But as if his situation couldn't get messier, this submitted lawsuit is where Odell and Druski's names come into play. It alleged that both were involved in a horrific incident back in 2018, and let me tell you, the details are something straight out of a nightmare. While the FBI has not released all the specifics, insiders claim that the charges are quite severe, and the agency wasn't playing around when it came to taking action. The lawsuit was filed by Ashley Parham, who had already accused Diddy of some absolutely shocking behavior. But the twist? Parham has now named Odell Beckham Jr. and Druski as additional participants in this alleged event. According to the lawsuit, this all went down in Orinda, California, at a private gathering that's now being described as a site of unimaginable cruelty. Parham's accusations paint a grim picture, and while the claims remain unproven, the fact that the FBI decided to act so swiftly raises eyebrows. Are they sitting on evidence we don't know about yet? That's the question on everyone's mind. Odell Beckham Jr., known for his jaw-dropping catches and electric personality on the field, has vehemently denied the allegations. He took to social media, as many do these days, to voice his disbelief and outrage. "I really can't even believe that my name is mentioned in that matter," he wrote. According to him, he wasn't even in Orinda, California at the time. In fact, Beckham has stated that he doesn't believe he's ever been to Orinda in his life. To his fans, he's presented himself as calm, collected, and confident that these accusations will fall apart under scrutiny.
So this was filed by a woman named Ashley Parham, and she's one of the women that are accusing Diddy of human trafficking. In her original lawsuit, she alleges that she was drugged and had to fight to escape.
Druski, the comedian who's built a career on making people laugh, has also stepped forward to dismiss the claims. His denial comes with a unique angle. Back in 2018, he wasn't even a public figure yet. He said he was living with his mom, completely disconnected from Hollywood or any of its major players. This allegation is a fabricated lie, he wrote, adding that he's confident evidence will clear his name. But here's where things get extra spicy. People have started digging into old interviews, and Druski's past comments about being at Diddy's parties seem to contradict his insistence that he wasn't connected to the industry at the time. Is this just a case of bad timing and miscommunication, or does it hint at something deeper? As expected, the arrests have sent shockwaves through the public. Social media is ablaze, with hashtags like Justice for Odell and Cancel Druski trending. Fans are fiercely divided. On one side, you've got people who refuse to believe these two could be involved in something so heinous. They're pointing to their consistent public personas, Odell as the charismatic athlete, Druski as the lovable goofball, and calling the allegations baseless. On the other side, skeptics argue that fame and charm don't equal innocence, and that the legal system wouldn't act without some level of justification. The debate is heated, with everyone from casual fans to celebrity commentators weighing in.
This ain't what you want, man.
Odell pretty much says the same, like, God got me, man. Like, I have nothing to do with this. Leave me alone.
I can't keep up.
Yeah.
So now, is this lawsuit something that is the person alleging they're the victim of this? Was it already a thing, or this is another thing?
No, this is an updated. Yeah, it's like an update.
But let's not forget, this isn't just about opinions. The FBI's involvement adds a layer of gravity that can't be ignored. Reports suggest that agents were armed with warrants for both arrests and searches, indicating that they've been quietly gathering evidence behind the scenes. What exactly they've uncovered remains a mystery, but it's clear they're taking this case very seriously. This isn't just about headlines or clickbait. This is about potential criminal behavior that could have life-altering consequences for everyone involved.
And do we know who the other people were for this victim before Odell and Druski were at it? It was just a Diddy party victim? Is that what it is?
I think it was just Diddy, but now this one includes the updated version. It includes comedian Druski, Odell Beckham Jr., and Jaguar Wright is named in here too. So,
And then there's the ripple effect. Odell Beckham Jr. is not just a football player. He's a brand with endorsements, sponsorships, and millions of adoring fans. His reputation is a key part of his livelihood. Druski, meanwhile, has been on a meteoric rise in comedy, snagging roles in high-profile projects and becoming a household name. The arrests have already triggered a domino effect, with companies distancing themselves and projects being put on hold. It's a stark reminder of how quickly things can change in the face of controversy.
You know, it's bad on so many levels. The fact that this just keeps going round and round, and people could just jump up and throw names on a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I guess these are part of the ramifications of a culture that runs unchecked, where you have a celebrity culture abusing people and wealthy individuals getting away with crimes and victims not being able to have a voice.
As for Diddy, who's still sitting in jail facing his own mountain of allegations, his legal team has been quick to dismiss these latest claims. They've labeled the lawsuit a desperate attempt to grab headlines and called Perrin's accusations wildly implausible. According to them, Diddy wasn't even in Orinda at the time of the alleged incident. They've also pointed to a sheriff's report from Contra Costa County that supposedly found Perrin's initial claims unfounded. But here's the thing, this lawsuit isn't just about Diddy anymore. With Odell and Druski in the mix, the narrative has taken on a whole new dimension.
We've been reporting on like the Diddy lawsuits, right, for a while in here. Mm-hmm. Back in October, we actually reported on a lawsuit that was recently as in Friday, was amended to add Druski and Odell Beckham Jr.
What makes this even more mind-boggling is the sheer number of people now implicated in lawsuits tied to Diddy. From accusations of coercion to claims of threats and violence, the stories just keep piling up. And while each case is unique, the common thread seems to be a complex web of power, influence, and secrecy. Could this be the beginning of the end for some of Hollywood and the sports world's biggest names? Or is it a case of opportunistic lawsuits trying to take advantage of public outrage? The truth, as always, is likely somewhere in between.
Now, back in October when this was first filed, we didn't know who the other parties involved in this were. So yeah, it was John Doe. They were just listed as John Does. But now she's saying that those John Does were Odell Beckham Jr. and Druski. So now I'm bringing us up to speed on what she's alleging that Druski and Odell Beckham Jr. were a part of.
And let's not forget the role of the media in all this. Coverage has been relentless, with every outlet scrambling to uncover new details and angles. But with that comes sensationalism, and it's important to remember that allegations are not convictions. Still, the public appetite for drama is insatiable, and this story has all the ingredients of a blockbuster: fame, scandal, and the looming question of what really happened that night in Orinda. As we wait for more details to emerge, one thing is certain: the fallout from this case will be felt for a long time. Careers are already hanging in the balance, and the legal battles are just beginning. This is far from over. In fact, it feels like we're only scratching the surface. What other names might come up? What other secrets could be revealed? The FBI's readiness to act suggests there's more to this story than meets the eye, and the implications could be massive. And here's where things get even wilder, because believe it or not, the arrest of Odell Beckham Jr. and Druski isn't just an isolated incident. Oh no, this is just the beginning, folks. If the whispers coming out of law enforcement circles are true, the FBI is gearing up for something massive, something that could rock Hollywood, the music industry, and even professional sports to their very cores. The arrest of Diddy last year may have seemed like a shocking one-off, but now, with Odell and Druski also in handcuffs, it's starting to feel like the tip of an iceberg. And here's the kicker. Sources say the FBI has been quietly preparing for hundreds of arrests. Yes, hundreds. Let that sink in.
Puff was, somewhere off in a chair in the room watching and pleasuring himself. He was also recording as this was happening as well too. So these claims are, you know what I mean? Because she's saying that this was like a violent rape, like to the point where when she was up and trying to leave, it took her a minute to kind of get herself together.
Think about it. This isn't just about one or two lawsuits or a small circle of people. What we're looking at here, if the rumors are even halfway true, is a sprawling network of high-profile individuals allegedly tied to some seriously dark activities. The allegations go beyond anything we've ever seen before, and the FBI seems to be playing the long game, meticulously gathering evidence and biding their time to strike. And if you thought this was just about Diddy's legal troubles, think again, because now names like Jay-Z, Jaguar Wright, and others are being whispered in the same breath. If this all comes to light, it could be the biggest scandal Hollywood has ever seen.
And basically, so the way that it's set up is like she's alleging that like Druski and Odell Beckham Jr. were like doing anything at the beck and call of Puff. So he was telling them what to do. They were doing it. But yesterday, Druski did respond to this. And he says, this allegation is a fabricated lie. I wasn't a public figure in 2018. I was broke living with my mom without any connections to the entertainment industry at the time. of this allegation. So
let's rewind for a second and talk about Diddy's situation, because it's impossible to understand what's happening now without looking at how this all started. Back in September, when Diddy was taken into custody, people were already stunned. The charges against him were jaw-dropping: racketeering, coercion, and allegations of exploitation that spanned decades. And then there were the raids on his properties. Remember that? The FBI reportedly found an arsenal of items that raised more questions than answers. It wasn't just about the accusations anymore. It was about the scale of what was being uncovered. And while Diddy has maintained his innocence, calling the lawsuits against him a money grab, the sheer number of accusations and the level of detail in some of them made it hard for people to turn a blind eye. But here's where things get even more intriguing. Around the same time Diddy was arrested, reports started trickling out that the FBI had been quietly investigating not just him, but an entire network of powerful figures. Insiders claim that Diddy wasn't just acting alone. Far from it. Instead, he was allegedly part of a broader circle of influence, one that stretched across the entertainment industry and beyond. And this is where names like Jay-Z start to come into play. Now, to be clear, Jay-Z has denied any and all allegations against him, going as far as calling them stupid, but the fact that his name even came up in connection to these investigations raised eyebrows. Why? Because Jay-Z is one of the most powerful, untouchable figures in the industry. If his name is being mentioned, you know this investigation is going deep.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000.
And let's not forget about Jaguar. Right, the singer has long been known for speaking out against the darker sides of the industry, but now her name is reportedly tangled in these lawsuits as well. It's a twist nobody saw coming. Some people are saying she's being unfairly targeted because of her outspoken nature, but others are speculating that her involvement might be more complicated than it seems. The truth, we just don't know yet. But what we do know is that her name being added to this growing list of high-profile individuals only adds fuel to the fire.
In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
So what's the endgame here? Well, according to sources close to the investigation, the FBI has been building its case piece by piece, and they're not stopping anytime soon. The arrests of Diddy, Odell Beckham Jr., and Druski are just the beginning. Insiders claim that warrants are being prepared for a whole new wave of arrests. And let's just say the names being floated around are enough to make anyone do a double take. We're talking about A-listers, household names, and even people you'd least expect. If this unfolds the way people are predicting, it's going to make the scandals of the past look like child's play.
I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long. Where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
But here's the thing. This isn't just about individuals. If the FBI's investigation really is as wide-reaching as the rumors suggest, we could be looking at a systemic reckoning for the entertainment industry as a whole. Think about it. How many decades of unchecked behavior have been swept under the rug in the name of protecting powerful people? And if names start dropping like dominoes, what does that say about the institutions that allowed this culture to thrive in the first place? Some are even speculating that this could lead to a wave of whistleblowers stepping forward, emboldened by the arrests and the public attention. If that happens, Hollywood might finally be forced to confront its skeletons in a way it never has before.
He, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her.
And let's not forget the financial implications. The entertainment industry is built on brands, whether it's a global superstar or a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And controversy has a way of scaring off investors and partners. We've already seen brands distancing themselves from Diddy, Odell Beckham Jr., and Druski, but what happens if this ripple effect spreads? Could entire projects be shelved? Could streaming platforms or movie studios be forced to rethink their partnerships with certain stars or producers? The potential fallout is enormous, and it's not just about reputations. It's about billions of pounds at stake.
And that, of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally.
At the same time, there's a growing sense of unease among fans. Many are asking, if the people we've admired, supported, and even idolized turn out to be involved in something this dark, what What does that say about the culture we've helped to create? It's a question that cuts deep, especially for those who've grown up with these figures as role models. Social media is already flooded with debates about separating art from the artist, with some arguing that talent shouldn't excuse bad behavior, while others insist that everyone deserves their day in court. It's a messy, emotional conversation, but one that feels inevitable given the sheer scale of what's happening.
Now, with respect to the evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress.
And here's the thing that's really got people talking: the alleged rotten core of Hollywood. Now, this isn't a new idea. For years, there have been whispers about the darker side of fame, about how some of the industry's biggest players have allegedly used their power to manipulate and control others. But what's happening now feels different. It feels bigger, more coordinated. It's as if the FBI is peeling back the layers of an onion, and each layer reveals something more shocking than the last. The question is, how deep does this go, and how many people are involved? Take Jay-Z, for example. His denial of the allegations against him has been loud and clear. He's called the claims laughable and accused the lawyer behind the lawsuit of extortion. And yet, the fact that his name was added to an amended lawsuit has left people wondering, is this just a case of someone trying to take down a powerful man for financial gain? Or is there something more to the story? And if Jay-Z's name is being dragged into this, who else might be next?
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right?
Then there's the growing speculation about the entertainment industry as a whole. People are starting to ask whether this investigation could lead to a complete overhaul of how things operate. Could this be the moment where the industry is forced to reckon with its past? Or will it be another case of powerful people finding ways to escape accountability? It's a question that has no easy answer. But one thing's for sure, the public is paying attention like never before.
So we've got actually some interesting stories. We're going to lead off with what's going on in that Jay-Z case, which we thought went away. We thought the woman who accused him of with Diddy after the VMAs, I believe back in 2000, had dismissed her case, and you thought it would just go away. It is not. No. It is.
And let's not forget the impact this is having on the careers of those involved. Odell Beckham Jr., once one of the most marketable athletes in the world, is now facing an uphill battle to clear his name. Druski, whose comedy career was just starting to take off, finds himself in a similar position. And Diddy, well, his empire is already crumbling, with brands and collaborators distancing themselves left and right. But what happens if more names are added to this list? What happens if the FBI's next wave of arrests includes even bigger stars? The fallout could be catastrophic, not just for the individuals involved, but for the industry as a whole. As for the public, reactions have been as divided as ever. Some people are ready to believe the worst, pointing to these allegations as proof of a long hidden truth about the entertainment world. Others are more skeptical, arguing that these lawsuits are nothing more than opportunistic grabs for attention and money. But regardless of where you stand, one thing is clear: this story isn't going away anytime soon. If anything, it's just getting started. And as the drama surrounding Odell Beckham Jr., Druski, and Diddy continues to unfold, it's clear that this scandal is far from over. The questions remain: could this be the beginning of the end for some of Hollywood and the sports world's biggest names? Or is it a case of opportunistic lawsuits trying to take advantage of public outrage? The truth is likely somewhere in between, and only time will tell how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Jay-Z is now saying, the allegation you made against me, you picked the wrong one. And I'm going after you hard. I'm going after you for extortion. You sent me a demand letter and said this would all go away if I paid you a bunch of money. You defamed me in public.
But he's right. We do know that because before Jay was even named, when Tony Busby said he was representing victims of Diddy, he said that there were some high-profile A-list names, and if they didn't pay up, basically he was going to reveal who they were, and then he announced Jay-Z. So
what do you think? Could this scandal bring down an entire industry, or is it just another storm that will eventually blow over? And what about the allegations against Jay-Z and Jaguar Wright? Are they part of a larger conspiracy, or simply caught in the crossfire? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this developing story. Until next time, stay tuned.